We're back. The video game. I just had to. I wanted to finish the game. I finished the chapter at least. And we're gonna end because I want to do this. It's my life now. I couldn't. It'd feel awkward if I just did
last time?
part of chapter 4, then halfway through chapter 5. No. We're doing this now. Right now. Oh. We searched for a while, looking for flowers that Aspen thinks will work. There are plenty in people's gardens, but she always says we're not allowed to take those. We try the park, the mountain, and even the sides of the roads, but nothing we find meets Aspen's standards. Finally, after going around a big chunk of town, spot a hidden grove near the waterfront. That seems perfect. There are several different types of flowers, all in bloom. We walk over and stop just at the edge of the patch.
These should do. What do you think?
They look really pretty, but I thought that about the other ones we saw too.
It's not just about how pretty they are. They need to be the right shape and size as well.
We're doing again? Well, yeah, we're making bookmarks. Our flowers. We're pressing them. I forgot about that. Been less than 24 hours and my memory's utter shit.
These ones check all the boxes. Go ahead and choose some that look nice to you. Then you can snip off the tops with these.
Hands me a pair of scissors.
I don't know how to decide. They all look nice to me.
It should be easy then. It's best if they're kind of flat though. Remember to only take the top so that the rest of the plant can grow back.
Is that how that works? Really? I want you to pick a couple so that I can make sure I'm doing it right. Aspen only chooses flowers that are in the middle of the big patches instead of the ones that are alone. After a bit, I wander off to select my own. Both of us move around carefully, making sure not to step on anything delicate. There are some that look like the ones Aspen already had in her book. It reminds me of the flowers you can buy at the store. Sweet aroma isn't as strong as it would be if I were a fox, but it's still nice. There are others that I've never seen before, but catch my eye as I'm deciding. Both kinds seem like they should work. I'm not sure which one to choose. Oh, okay, that's what I sped through and chose earlier. Go with the new ones. I go for the unfamiliar flowers that are new to me. I want something that will stand out compared to the ones she picks. Immediately, imitating what I saw Aspen do, I snip up a few buds and bundle them up. Make sure not to crush or damage them. Then I rejoin Aspen. We're finishing up too. He inspects my collection.
Oh, those are beautiful. Good choice. Are you all set?
Yeah. Ready if you are.
The two of us return to the library, and the book's waiting for us there.
So, how do we do this?
It's quite simple, really. There are lots of ways to press flowers, but this method is the easiest. All you have to do is take your book.
Aspen grabs one of the heavy books she brought and opens it to somewhere in the middle.
Put a piece of paper in here like this for the moisture.
She folds a plain sheet of paper in half and then slides it in where the pages meet.
Then you place your flowers on top and close the book. And that's it. Easy, right?
To demonstrate, she arranges a few of the buds she selected, spacing them out, like cookies on a sheet. When she's satisfied, she shuts the book.
Oh, I can do that.
I take one of the others and repeat the process. I close the front cover, The pages smooth down the colorful flowers. Aspen puts both books aside, side by side, on the counter.
How long does it take? Should we come back later?
Longer than that. A few days, if not weeks. We want to get all the water squeezed out.
That long?
I'm afraid so. Mum always said that the waiting was half the fun, because it gave you something to look forward to.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's kind of odd, Mum.
I tend to agree. There is a certain charm to it, though.
I guess. Still.
I first learned about pressing flowers when I bought a book from a second-hand store that had a few left behind by a previous owner. They must have forgotten all about the flowers. They were bone dry, even more than the ones I showed you, and they'd stained the pages.
Oh, god damn it. That's even worse.
They were still beautiful, though, and made my copy unique.
I guess it's fair.
I left them in there to this day on my shelf. It seemed wrong to remove them after so long.
What do you do with the ones you make?
Decorate, mostly. They make for nice accessories, or bookmarks, or even look nice on their own.
I can't wait to see.
Me either. Here, there are still a few left.
Aspen and I each have a couple flowers remaining, so she grabs another book and opens it. She flips through the pages, getting closer to the middle, and then suddenly stops. Nested alongside a few flowers is a folded up paper with Aspen's name on it.
What's that?
She stares silently for a long time, and then gently removes everything. Flowers are almost entirely brown and fragile, except for a few splotches of white on the petals. Aspen sets them aside.
It looks like I did some forgetting too. I must have put these here years ago.
What about the paper?
There's another sheet in there that everything sat on top of. So the one with her name must not be the one to suck up the water. She then removes the page in question. It's stained brown like the flowers, and sticks as it's stained brown like the flowers and sticks as she tries to take it off, but eventually gives way. It crackles in her hands as she turns it over a few times. Carefully unfolding, Aspen holds the paper where she can read it.
It was a letter to my future self. I used to write them occasionally. Most got lost or thrown out ages ago, but it figures that I'd find one here and now.
What's it say?
I'm a little afraid to find out.
She clears her throat.
Dear Miss Benoit,
Gives me a sidelong glance.
I wish I'd just used my first name. I can't tell you how tired I am of reading letters that start like that. Anyway, I'm writing this on the evening of my 13th birthday. In case you have forgotten, today I began writing my first novel.
Oh.
By the time that you read this, I expect that you have half a dozen or more complete aside from this one.
Again, Aspen looks at me.
As you can see, I used to be even more obnoxious when it came to writing. Mother suggested that I compose this letter in order to look back and reflect on how far I have come. I'm keeping my goals modest so that I might surprise myself in the future.
Sure, that's very modest, indeed.
Right now, there are many questions that I have. What was university like? Have you gotten married yet? How many other famous authors have you met? Have you made more friends?
You made more friends, I'd say, maybe. Hopefully.
I hope that you have moved to a bigger city. Mother says someday I will appreciate our town more, but I don't believe her. There is not a single thing that I will miss from here after I've left, other than my parents, of course. I have been looking at possibilities for studying abroad when I am older, and am focusing on my academics to help facilitate that. When you read this, I wonder if you will remember writing it. I hope that you are laughing about how much better your life is than I am imagining now. Yours truly, Aspen Benoit.
After she finishes reading the letter aloud, Aspen suddenly rereads it a few more times. Then she places it back where it came from, alongside the dry flowers and the rest we picked together. Then she closes the book.
Young Aspen got a few things right and a few things wrong, it seems. I'm over half a dozen books late, apparently. Modest goals, indeed. I don't really remember writing that particular letter. At least not too clearly. But for all the wishes that didn't come true, and all the things that I'm sure past me would be disappointed in current me for. It does make me smile to read it again.
I think that's the most important part.
I quite agree. It might not be the future I was imagining, but still, I wouldn't trade the present I have for anything.
That's when I clean up the leaves and trimmed stems, tipping them up into the garbage. Then we stack the books and put them on a high shelf, where they'll be safe and out of the way. Both stare up at them, full of memories new and old.
That's enough of the past for now. Come on, we have a whole day to enjoy.
Aspen places a hand on my shoulder and kisses my cheek, then leads me out of the kitchen. I follow her out in the brightest into the bright sunlight.
Right behind you.
As the day winds down and starts to get darker, a light breeze starts to pick up. Not enough to be cold, but enough to make me glad I have my jacket. Aspen, Juliet, and I sit out the front porch, the lights on, watching the road.
How long until people start showing up?
Oh, it's Halloween, I forgot.
Soon, I'd imagine. The early evening is when most trick-or-treating begins.
Really? Okay.
They'd better hurry before Miho eats all the candy.
Can't argue with that.
Ha 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 ha. I wrap another piece and stuff it into my mouth, and the wrapper into my pocket, and a bunch of others.
Maybe if you go knocking on doors, you could convince people you're a kid in a costume too. That way you could get your own candy.
That sounds fun.
Do you think that would work?
Probably not, though. It's hard to talk with my mouth full of chocolate and caramel.
No, but it's funny to imagine.
Oh, look! Here come a few of them now.
Hi, hi. Sure enough, a group of 3 kids appear at the bottom of the hill and start making their way up towards us. I stand up, the giant bowl in my hand.
Oh, how cute!
One of the kids has a white sheet draped over them, with big holes cut out for the eyes. The other 2 are dressed like characters I've seen on TV.
Trick-or-treat!
3 of them hold out open pillowcases, and I toss a handful of candy into each of one.
Here you go.
The one with the big eyes goes even more wide-eyed.
Whoa, that's a lot. Thanks a bunch.
Let's probably not put too much in there next time, because we need to save some for the other person.
Wait, was it? Should I take some back?
No. Aspen swats at me gently.
You can't do that.
As the 3 kids hurry off, probably afraid that I really was going to reach and reclaim some of the candies, I sit back down.
How much am I supposed to give them?
4? 3?
Usually a piece or 2, but it's not a problem. We still have several unopened bags inside.
That's good to hear.
Great.
I grab another piece for myself and munch on it.
Well, in that case...
Aspen reaches over and picks out a couple candies for herself too. isn't long before the next batch of kids show up, with another close behind them. The second group even has some parents accompanying them. That was really deep voice. Was that the adult? It gets later and later, but more kids start arriving rather than less. I hand out candy until my arm gets tired, and Aspen takes over. More than once, Juliet has to go inside and get more bags of candy to refill the bowl.
This is more work than the library on a busy day.
Even my first day at work, when Aspen helped me run the desk, felt less busy than this evening does. But also, it's a lot of fun. Many of the kids have creative costumes, and I even recognize some of the characters they're dressed up as. The less creative costumes are still cute too, and it's nice seeing so many happy smiles as they all walk away. It's not until the moon is high in the sky that the trick-or-treaters stop showing up. You can still hear the occasional whoop and shout from the streets nearby, but no one else comes up the path. The big bowl of candy is nearly empty, with less than half a layer left behind. A bunch of empty bags fill out the recycling bin in the end. We managed to go through all the candy Juliet bought. After about 10 minutes without any more kids, we finally get up from the porch.
I believe we can call it a night.
That was certainly the busiest Halloween I've ever been a part of.
I wonder why.
Really? I didn't know if that was normal or not.
Interesting.
For Welly, maybe. But I don't get many trick-or-treaters at my apartment.
I guess that makes sense. You are an apartment building. Not much people are gonna trick-or-treat in apartments.
And back home, there are like maybe 5 kids in town at any given time.
More candy for you.
Yeah, as you buy a lot of candy.
Speaking of which, I hope I can count on the two of you to finish off the leftovers we have here.
What? Oh, you don't want you don't want any candy, Juliet? Come on.
You don't even have to ask.
I'd better take what I can before Miho claims it all for herself, shouldn't I?
Not if I beat you to it anyway.
Laughing, the three of us clean everything up, and then finally head back inside the library.
That was quite fun, but I do think I'm ready for bed. Is something wrong?
I barely register her words. Something is wrong. But I don't know what. As soon as I walk through the front door, I can tell. But I can't place what it is.
Miho?
Both of them stop walking, watching me with concern. Finally, it hits me.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It doesn't take me long to spot the source. One of the windows near the shelves, not too far from Aspen's usual table, is wide open. The curtains flutter with the breeze. 2 of them fall on my line of sight.
Oh, did we forget to close this? But then, that doesn't make sense, does it? Why would we have just opened one of the windows?
We didn't.
We wouldn't. That window was definitely shut earlier.
It's Halloween. Maybe some kids snuck in here as a prank. Is anything missing?
The 3 of us look around, inspecting the shelves, front desk, and everything in between. If there's something gone, it's not immediately visible.
I can't see anything out of the ordinary.
My room is silver broken in.
Me either.
Yeah.
Something still doesn't sit right with me.
I'm gonna go look upstairs.
The other two follow behind me. Juliet goes to check her office, but it appears untouched. Aspen waits at the top of the stairs, watching. Meanwhile, I go to my room. Grabbing the handle, I push the door open, turn on the lights. I can hardly believe what I see. My window is wide open too. Bed sheets and pillows are strewn across the floor. like someone climbed across the bed. That what few other possessions I have are also scattered around the room, as if a tornado had blown through.
Miho? Is something amiss?
I can hear them. I hear them both hurrying my way as I remain frozen in the doorway. Behind me, Aspen gasps as she gets a glimpse of my room.
Who? Why?
I have a feeling I already know the answers to one of those questions, but not the other. Stepping inside, I mechanically pick up my things, put them back where they belong. Everything is here except for...
My scroll!
that little piece of paper. The only belonging that I really care about is nowhere to be seen. Check it on my bed, and in every nook and cranny, just to be sure. But it's gone. The fact that that fact is all the confirmation I need.
I'll be back.
I push my way past Aspen and Juliet's shocked faces, and dash back downstairs. Both Aspen and Juliet shout after me as I barrel out the library, but I ignore them both. The instant I'm outside, I transfer and keep running. There's no question or doubt as to who took my scroll. The question is, why? As angry as I could be, I force myself to stamp that feeling down, at least until I know Silver's reasons. The path to Mount Victoria is more crowded than I've ever seen it, but the roads and the sidewalks are full of people, mostly parents with their kids. Some of them point or cheer as I run past, but I don't give them a second thought. None of them try to stop me or get in my way. By the time I climb the mountain, I reach Silver's part of the forest. It's dark. She isn't in any of her usual spots, but I can sense that she isn't far away. Racing through the darkness, I keep my nose near the ground, hot on her tail. Then suddenly, just like last time, I find her. She moves in the darkness. A patch of shadow that's a different color than the rest. Her bead glows as vibrant as ever, illuminating her wrist. It shines on the unfurled paper in her hand. Like always, she waits back to me.
So you came.
Of course I did. Give me back my scroll.
I keep my distance, but reach out my hand. Just a few steps away. Lifting her head to look up at the starry sky. No, not the sky. The trees. Follow her gaze upwards and realize something. I've been here before. I recognize this tree. It's the one that the bird fell from. That makes me pause. Has she been wondering about it all this time? Is this her way of asking? She did follow me all the way home. I'll soften my voice, but know that I might as well be blunt.
It died, you know. They weren't able to save it.
Her posture doesn't change, but all the subtle light of her bracelet. But by the subtle light of the bracelet, I can see her fingers clench the edge of my scroll even tighter.
I met the woman who rescued it. She said the same thing that you did. That's just how nature is.
Silence. Gritting my teeth, I try to contain my growing frustration. Normally, I can tolerate her silence, but tonight, instead of just coming to talk like she knows I would, she steals my most beloved possession and makes me chase after her out here. Also, she could ignore me?
Don't you have anything to say? You must have come here for a reason, didn't you?
More silence. Not even a breeze disturbs it. Finally, I've had enough. Step forward, snapping a branch beneath my shoes.
Hey! Answer me, damn it! Stop acting like you don't care about anything!
That gets her attention. She looks at me over her shoulder, face hidden except with her eyes, and then faces me.
Were you to happen upon another burn, more broken than the first, would you still try to save it?
Of course.
Even knowing that your effort is likely to be futile?
Yeah, even then. At least there's a chance it would work out.
You speak like a human, fighting against the inevitability of death. While we could watch the river of life from its shores, you choose to struggle upstream. Why?
Why? Because otherwise it all just passes by. I did what you said and watched from the shores for so long because I didn't even think about joining it. But once I did, once I let someone pull me in, I realized I like it more this way. It's hard sometimes. I haven't even been trying that long, but those hard times just help me appreciate the good ones more. Or even at all. There's someone I met who was also afraid of getting hurt, and someone else who was afraid of just passing by. They showed me that those are parts of life too, just like death is for a lot of people. Who cares about living forever if you don't care about being alive? Immortal or not, it's all we have. You and me, my friends, that bird, it's the same for all of us. I could have run away. I thought about it a million times. It would have been a lot easier than staying. But I did stay. And so now, here I am. Someone took a chance on me once too. Even if I wouldn't have died, they still saved my life in a way. I thought it would be impossible for someone like me, like you and me, that it wasn't even worth the effort to try and change things. But I was wrong. And I'm glad that I was. And so that's why I do the same thing all over again, with a burn. Because if there's even a chance, it's worth trying.
Although I don't say it, I can't help but think even talking like this is something relatively new to me. Unlike Silver, it acts more like Aspen's old books most of the time. It just goes to show that there are lots of different paths our lives could have taken. But they both brought us here, together. While Silver is still thinking about what I said, her eyes suddenly go wide at the same time that I feel the warmth on my neck. Go to my necklace, where I can see it. Both Silver and I just stare at my bead. My bead brighten before our eyes. The glow intensifies to the point that Silver has to shield her eyes and look away, although somehow it doesn't bother me. I also watch as another eyelash-thin crack appears, and then another. For a moment I have expected to just shatter, but it stops after the third crack, still holding itself together. The light from it also dims a little, but it's still brighter than it was. When I let go and it falls back against my neck, my beads feel heavier than normal too. Silver is about to look at me again, and though the shock has faded from her expression, her eyes still stay fixed on my bead. She laughs, but it's humorless. Shaking her head, she continues to stare at my necklace instead of my eyes.
I had hoped that by looking at this, I might be able to learn your secret. Some magic spell or incantation that you had invoked. At the very least, I thought I might understand. Even as I read it, I thought that I must be missing something. For what meaning could such simple instructions hold?
Huh?
Even as you arrived here, I hoped that perhaps you would reveal some missing part of the puzzle.
Huh?
So golden was your light as I approached your library that I thought it must be someone else. So bright that I could see it clearly. The same color as the person close to you. Now, I don't know if I should be disappointed or not to find there is no secret to these words. Is there?
Putting my scroll in front of her face, the same way I held my necklace, her eyes glide across the characters.
수복강령.
수보 강요.
Please be happy. What simple nonsense. And yet, how could I deny that you've taken it to heart when your very aura tells me your truth?
All I can do. That's all I can do to blink, to breathe, to stay standing upright, as the world narrows to just the two of us. All awareness of anything else falling away from me. Confusion is just as plain on Silver's face at my reaction as I struggle to speak.
You can read it? That's what it says?
After years of looking and trying to understand, and she could read it just like that? Silver, who says she cares nothing for people and their lives or culture, I'm not the only one stunned. The parchment falls from Silver's hand as she drops it in shock. It flutters to the ground and stays there, even as a budding breeze starts to blow. That shock changes into understanding, and then Silver laughs again. Really laughs, for the first time I've ever seen. Her usual dignified and threatening pose is gone as she laughs so hard that it echoes across the woods. Clutching her chest, it's all she could do to remain upright as she acts like she's heard the world's funniest joke. Like, still, just like earlier, I'm not sure there's any humor in it. Finally, with a groan, she retrieves my scroll and then straightens up, wiping her eyes.
You're serious, aren't you? You never knew what it said before now.
I shake my head.
I would call you a liar if you were anyone else. You've made a fool of me without even trying. Or rather, I've made a fool of myself. I thought your glow was the result of those words. But you achieved that by yourself. Whatever it is you feel, it's something you've learned on your own, isn't it? You truly believe all the things you said.
Maybe not on my own. I had a lot of help along the way. But yeah, I mean it. Every word.
I reach out a hand again, taking a step forward. And another, and another. I stop just in front of Silver. All she has to do is take the final step forward. I don't demand anything, just reach. She eyes my hand warily, like a stray dog trying to decide if it should trust someone. I hold my breath, waiting. With a rustle, she pushes the paper into my hand and then backs away, looking at the ground.
Your path is different than mine. We may have more in common than I once thought, but I still cannot follow behind you. Though I can understand why you walk it.
I nod.
And I understand why you said no. I hope you change your mind someday.
Perhaps. Although, I do not think we'll meet again.
Huh?
Wait, why not? Are you leaving?
Soon. I don't know when. I haven't decided. But I made up my mind before I ever visited your library.
Oh,
Aw.
You're disappointed.
I am. You're the first other Gumio I've ever known. You're like... family, I guess. Didn't you call us sisters before?
She blushes, averting her eyes.
Perhaps.
Then that's what we are.
That's simple, is it?
Why not?
It really is.
Silver shakes her head and looks around, regaining a bit of her standoffish composure. This is about the time when she typically transforms and run away.
At least tell me before you leave, okay? Whenever it is.
She hesitates, but then agrees.
Fine. Goodbye, Miho.
Bye, Silver.
She walks towards me. Rather than away, it comes to a stop right beside me. We both pace in different directions. Slowly, she raises a hand and awkwardly pats me on the shoulder. Just once. By the time I turn my head to look at her, all that I can see is the disappearing gleam of Silver Fox. As she blends into the night. I'm alone. But I don't feel alone. Looking at my scroll, there are a few new pieces from where Silver held onto it, but they don't mess up the writing or anything. It's just a record of what we've been through together. The breeze from her floor picks up, making the paper flutter in my grip. I use 2 hands to hold it. Staying without reading. Then my eyes wander over the familiar characters. It's funny. All this time spent not knowing what they said, just to find I've lived by them all along. Or at least, I've started to. Happiness? That's a new one for me too. I think. Another abstract concept that I didn't seem meant for me. But like everything else, it got easier along the way. I roll my scroll back up and store it safely in my pocket. The woods are dark as I walk through them, but I'm not afraid. The shining light of my bead brightens the path, leading my way back home. Okay, this is 1 hour. It's a 1 hour stream. This is a 1 hour stream. Who cares? Please be happy. Silver has stolen Miho's scroll. Whatever reasons leave Miho shocked. Well, that's it. That was all this. That was the whole stream. That was the whole stream. Just me to finish the chapter because I didn't feel like doing half a chapter and then having to spend more or longer time on the next thing because
Oh, let me join you.
Life was a mess, you know. So cute. Oh my god. Everyone's so cute. What the fuck? Buzz off? Someone like you? Oh my god. The joy of flowers? With Miho's bus with Aspen's bus running late. Miho races against time to reunite with Aspen. My god. Using her spare time, Aspen finished another book. Fox in the Grove. A visit those left behind. A visit to the cemetery makes things all too clear for Miho. %60 complete. Oh. Time is going by so quickly.
Oh, let me join you.
Oh, I can relive the tragedies. I can be sad all over again. Alright, where's the saddest fucking one? Buzz off. I can be sad again. I can cry myself to sleep again. I guess that's where I'm gonna end it. I guess. This, all I wanted was to finish the chapter 4. Didn't feel like, you know, starting halfway to chapter 4, then getting to chapter 5, and spending another 5 hours, for like 7 hours, and having to stop that way half through because all the time passed and stuff. So yeah. Well, that's the end of the stream, I guess. The shortest stream I've ever had. 46 minutes. We're gonna raid. I know we're gonna raid Rose. Why not? Yeah. That's it.